my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform, to become your spiritual server. And welcome Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, and Pisces Rising to your end of July report. And it is the last day of July, so this is really applicable. 2018, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I'm really excited to get into this. I'm a Pisces Moon. And I'm not going to turn a blind eye to the fact that on the last round, the Pisces video received a lot more views than I thought it was going to. So I really do actually appreciate that. And I don't know what it is. I guess just, like I said, I am a Pisces Moon. So I really do feel for my fellow Pisceans out there. You guys are really super extra dimensional. And it's almost like, I feel like with you guys, if you think of life as like a movie, you guys are like the audience, you know? So it's like, it's almost like you're not even a part of the movie, you're watching it. But it's like, there's something that you guys get that other signs just don't get. You're so extra dimensional and so freaking psychic and so magical. And I'm just like, you know, we all have Piscean energy, but I just feel blessed to have a Pisces Moon. And that's weird because that's like the first time I've said that audibly out loud to myself. But it allows me to really tap into the extra-dimensional, multi-dimensional reality of this universe and multiverse. It allows me to actually be able to tap into that emotionally and from a soul level. And even though sometimes my Pisces Moon trolls me, which is actually what an astrologer told me when he gave me a reading, and I can actually really feel that I get trolled by my Pisces Moon, but I don't know. I really like the Piscean energy. I really do. But you guys frustrate me sometimes because you guys act like you're not magical. And you act like you can't just walk on water when you actually can. And it's like, come on guys, like y'all can do this. Anyways, let me get into this video. This is going to kind of apply as a recap to the energies of July and kind of what you're going to be playing with going into the month of August. So even though I am making this really here at the tail end of July, literally, it's still going to kind of apply as a recap to the month of July, which has been a crazy fucking month. I don't know if you guys felt it, but it's been a crazy month of transformation, looking deep within ourselves. And wow, that's actually a really beautiful card. I really love that card. Just the colors and just the patterns and stuff. This is, like I said, this is going to also apply going into the first week or so of August. But the card we got for you, the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle card, is Empowerment. And this card is just beautiful. I love this deck because the colors are amazing, the patterns are incredible. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in a deep trust that we're all connected through the same source. Wow. You can, if you look closely there, I don't know if you can see, hopefully it adjusts. I don't know if it will adjust, but the flower of life is actually in there. If you can't really see it with your physical eyes, your mind eye can see it, so you're still going to be taking in this information. But the flower of life is in there. Empowerment. Yes, I think that's really applicable, you know, and Pisces, you know, we just had that full moon lunar eclipse in Aquarius, which for you is the 12th house, so it's a very spiritual zone. And I think it's incredible how it mentions this card mentions about the uniting of all of us and having this deep trust, and for you to have a 12th house of Aquarius, which is, you know, which rules people and the masses. You know, you had to go through a deep clearing of your karma with other people and with society at large. I think it's because you carry such a high vibration when you bring it into this world. A lot of people, if they don't have some type of planet in Pisces, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. And it's like, it frustrates you because you can't really express the fullness of who you are. You have to really water it down. This is why you're in so many different dimensions at the same time. This is why I like to think that Pisces have one foot in this reality and one foot in another reality at the same time. And I even do this as a Pisces Moon. I literally have the ability to, like, if I'm in a room with other people, and I did this the like last week when I went to hang out with my cousins, but everyone was like talking about different stuff, and everyone started laughing, and then they kind of made an aside to me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys." I was like, "I have this incredible ability to just tune out and go into another world," and it's like you do that, Pisces. You have this great ability to tune out and go into another world, and with the 12th house of Aquarius, which is kind of about escapism, anyways, and even your sign's about escapism. To have this full moon lunar eclipse in your 12th house means that you are purging a lot of this karma as it involves other people and contracts, soul contracts, karmic relationships. You are purging a lot of this toxic, negative energy that's been held up, a lot of these emotions that have been held up, and now you're going to be feeling a deeper sense of empowerment with, this is the reason why you met this person, this is the reason why you met that person, and even if certain people you may have felt like you may have received the shaft from this person, or maybe, a situation with that person didn't quite work out, you're releasing a lot of the emotions, all the emotions that kind of kept you bound, and it's actually going to allow you to move forward, and you're going to feel more empowered. And that even though, your time with that person didn't go well, or perhaps if you're in a relationship, you broke up with that person, it didn't work out, that you still had to go through that experience, and you're going to start to understand this, and you're going to come from a deeper sense of empowerment, because it's going to allow you to show up fully and completely for this moment. You're not going to be just chilling in the past, worrying about what happened in the past. You're not going to be hyper worried about the future, what the future is going to bring. You're going to show up fully present for the moment. And when you show up fully for the moment, that is when your greatest creations come forth. That is when your greatest sense of empowerment comes forth, because you trust in source. You trust in God. As you trust in God, you trust in the universe, multiverse, and beyond. You trust in truth and love, and that we're all connected, and that there are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, which seems a little deterministic, right? And we do have an element of free will. We actually have more free will here than a lot of the other upper dimensions, because the closer you get to the Godhead, it's like it's like you act really what's in best favor for the totality of everything. So here in the third dimension, we actually have a lot of leeway, but still, we still feel the disparity that happens when we come off our path. We still feel the disparity and even the spiritual anguish of what happens when we come off our path. So it's like the whole free will versus deterministic, the whole you can do whatever you want versus fate debate. It's an integration of the two, because you technically can, right? But everything is fated. There is destiny, right? There is a destination, and even destinations beyond the destination. It's like once you reach a destination, there's always somewhere else to go after that, because everything's infinite. Everything is infinity. But we're all connected, and I believe this month you learned how to trust more, and that you learned to let go of any type of heavy emotions that have held you back. I'm telling you, July was a crazy month for all of us. It really was. Especially if you're a water sign, you purged a lot. I'm a Scorpio Sun, Pisces Moon, so like so much was purged. So you're going to be feeling a deeper sense of empowerment, because now you're going to feel freer up to express your magic, right? Let's get into the rest of the cards. So, whoa. Okay, a good chunk of these cards just kind of fell out. The bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is an awesome card. I really like this card in the deck. I like to see the Three of Wands as, and this one deck I have actually kind of depicts it interesting. This deck most decks it shows someone kind of looking out at a landscape, and this one it shows someone on a cliff. But I want to make allusion to this other deck where someone's kind of climbing a building, and there's like a person waiting at the top, like a goddess or like some sort of divine figure. And this person's like climbing up this building, and he's like almost right there. So I like to think of the Three of Wands as that. It's like after the Two of Wands, you pick your path. The Three of Wands is like you like achieve like the first hurdle or the first obstacle while you on that particular path. It's like, say you have this way to go or that way to go, and then you meet your first boss, and you defeat the first boss. That's what the Three of Wands is. And it's like you've completed that level, and now you're going to go to the next level on that particular path. So the Three of Wands for me, Pisces, is saying that you have actually defeated the boss, which is your own doubts and your own fears, that you really can't connect with other people powerfully, and that you actually can't trust the universe at large. The Three of Wands, in many ways, is really going to give you a deeper sense of empowerment, because you did complete something. You did beat the boss level. You did make it past that first level, but there, of course, is more to come. A lot of times what happens is that we get so caught up on a destination that once we reach that destination, it deflates us because we thought that that destination was going to make us happy. This is why you need to enjoy every step of the way. That way, when you reach a destination, you can really appreciate it and enjoy it for what it is, instead of having this deflated feeling. I was like, oh, I thought this was going to make me happy and stuff like that. When you should have been cultivating joy and happiness all throughout reaching that destination. And it's like, it's not so much that if you take that route, where you have this deeper sense of joy and appreciation and gratitude for every step of the moment, that when you reach that destination, that you're going to become settled and just settle on that, because it didn't matter if you reached the destination or not. You would have been happy anyways. That's actually going to actually really empower you to move forward even farther, even fast. I don't want to say faster, but I would say with more enthusiasm, I would say. I think that's a better word. Let's see what cards we have here. How many of them are okay? They're all like downturned. So we'll do this then. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Two of Wands, which is very interesting. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Chariot, and we have the Ten of Cups. So let's go through this real quick. All right, this is pretty interesting, actually. The Four of Pentacles speaks to you kind of holding on to some sense of self-worth or value, or holding on to something because you're afraid to let it go. And I feel like if this is functioning, like I said, as a recap of the July energies, you have kind of held on to certain, and I know this is an earth suit, so this actually could speak to money and stuff, or things that you value, but I think almost that you might have valued holding on to these emotions and these actions that have actually held you back. It's kind of interesting how you can actually value emotions, thought patterns that don't necessarily serve you, but they do serve you. There's a reason why these things come up. It's like if you have a self-limiting belief, it does serve you in some way capacity. And in most places, it's because it keeps you safe. It keeps you secure, and you don't have to explore outside of those realms, even though it might put you in some type of anxiety, mental anguish, fear, worries. We, in some way, kind of twist within our own minds that we value it because it keeps us small. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with being small, but I see the Four of Pentacles here as, it shows this dragon kind of guarding these amulets and these coins, right? The dragon is a symbol of transformation and deep transmutation as well. We have the Page of Swords. And I think these three cards honestly kind of have to come together. Because we have the Page of Swords, we have the Two of Wands, and then we have the Knight of Swords as well. I feel like this is in many ways you, because since this is air, I really feel like this is your transformation literally with this lunar eclipse in Aquarius, which is an air sign. And the Page of Swords was you before you made your decision going on a particular route. The Two of Wands is you deciding to go on that route. And the Knight of Swords is you after you evolved. After you evolved, and then you have the Three of Wands, right? That's the bottom card. So literally, you were the Page of Swords. You were a little, rough around the edges. You had a particular cause. You were like, yes, this is what I believe in. This is what I'm going to communicate. This is what I'm going to vocalize. And then you get to this crossroads. You're like, okay, do I take road A or road B? Do I take this road or that road? And whatever road you decided to go on, then you evolved into the Knight of Swords, which, it makes you, a little more discerning, but still you have this, you still have this the first thing that came to mind was bluntness, but it's like you're going to speak your truth. It's not like you're going to just try and jump into the Page of Swords will kind of just jump into a debate just because it gets really riled up and it really wants to vocalize, it really wants to express his or her truth, and it doesn't really matter if they say anything that might tick anyone else off. They don't necessarily have great savvy, with that. But the Knight of Swords has a little bit more savviness, has a little bit more charisma. That's a good word, charisma. So it's like you developed a certain charisma, certain even spiritual charisma, where it's like now you're starting to understand, how to flow a little bit better throughout this. We have this Chariot card, which is the card of Cancer. When this is really about you gaining a deeper sense of empowerment and willpower, because I like to think of the Chariot card as the card of willpower. And it's interesting how the willpower, how this card is ruled by Cancer. It's because I think when we learn to have emotional intelligence, we do gain a deeper sense of willpower, because emotions, we are meant to experience the wide range of emotions, right? And you're a water sign, so you definitely do feel this. We're meant to experience the whole wide range of it. But the reason why is because we're meant to become masters of it. So I feel like the Chariot is someone who has mastered their emotions and has what I call emotional intelligence. That doesn't mean that you don't get sad or upset. That just means that you know how to react. Because you realize that, in many ways, especially in the spiritual realm, emotions are everything. And the way that you react is everything. So it's like, you may feel like you want to be triggered right now. You may feel like you want to react a certain way right now. But the Chariot reminds you that you can actually have the power to react differently. That doesn't mean that you shove it under the rug. That doesn't mean that you throw it under the bed. That just means that you understand on a deeper level how to work with these emotions. And you can still work through them. You can still deal with them. The way that you do it is through meditation, journaling, praying before you go to sleep. Some people deal with it through exercising. It doesn't mean that you shove these emotions under the rug. That's not what it means. Having emotional intelligence means that you know how to direct the emotions in a more sophisticated way. Ten of Cups. So at the end of this whole transit, at the end of July, you're definitely going to be feeling a deeper sense of emotional fulfillment, a deeper sense of love for yourself and for other people, a deeper sense of empathy, because like I said, the full moon lunar eclipse with the Aquarius, and it's your 12th house. So Aquarius, like I said, it deals with the masses, it deals with people, but for you, it's the 12th house. So that literally means that every single person you meet has some type of deeper spiritual karmic connection or message or a reason for why they're in your life. This applies for everyone. Pisces just experiences this directly. But with the Ten of Cups and going through this, is that you're now going to just feel that connection with everyone around you. It doesn't matter who it is. It can be a random passerby on the street. It can be a family member, a mom, dad, brother, sister. It could be a significant other, coworker, your favorite bagger at your local grocery store, literally. And it's going to be like, now that you have released a lot of this baggage, now that you've released it, you're going to be feeling far more empowered. You're going to be feeling far more empowered now. It's really an incredible evolution. We're going to draw a few more cards. This was the bottom card. The card underneath the Three of Wands was the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know why, but I was thinking about this card. I literally was thinking about this card being the card under the Three of Wands, and it's the Wheel of Fortune. How about that? I'm going to cut the deck here, and I'm going to draw 3 cards to end this reading for you, Pisces. We have the Seven of Cups, we have the Devil card, and we have the Star card. So this is interesting. This is actually this is the Seven of Cups, Devil, and the Star card is probably what I would describe as free will and the free will experience. The Seven of Cups speaks to there being many options, many roads to take. It's like going into the grocery store and you don't just have one kind of apple to pick from. You have 10 or 20 different apples to pick from. You can pick this fruit or that vegetable. There's so much to pick from. You have the Devil card as well as the Star card. It's kind of interesting that these two cards will come up. And it's like the Devil, it speaks to these a little bit more primal wants and desires and these temptations. And it's not so much that it's a bad thing, right? But then we have the Star card, which reminds us that everything is fated and that we are guided by the stars and that there is destiny. But the Devil actually speaks to a little bit more of this free will and that you actually do have the ability to choose what you want to do, what you want to pick. But then we have the Star card. So there's this interesting disparity and dance between the Devil and the Star card. And they even say that Lucifer was, say, a fallen star, right? Of course, we can get more into that in other videos and really explain what it's talking about. But what it's saying here is that you are in a position right now, Pisces, where you have evolved, you have healed you have healed your connections with other people. And now that the slate is cleaned, you are definitely feeling more empowered. You're feeling like your magical self, like your extra-dimensional, super magical genie self. And you can just grant wishes with the snap of a finger. And yeah, there are a lot of roads to go. That might sometimes having a lot of options kind of disillusions us, right? Because it's almost like we'd rather have 3 Pokemon to choose from instead of 20. Yes, I'm making a reference to Pokemon and Squirtle Squad all day. But it's like, I want you to notice something. The Devil card, at least in this deck, he's holding a heart. So what you're being called to do is to still follow your heart. Follow your heart. And that's actually going to be aligned with your destiny and where the stars are guiding you right now. That yeah, there might be temptations to do certain things. People might try and tell you to do certain things, or they may try and project onto you what they feel like you should be doing. But only you know what that is. And since you are the sign of spirit, you are really intricately woven to fate and destiny. And some people don't really like that because they want to have a sense of control. But control is Capricorn. There are 2 more signs after Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces. And Aquarius does rule in many ways destiny and fate because the stars. But then you have Pisces, which is mutable water, which means that imagination is key. So use your imagination, Pisces. Use your imagination. You are the sign of imagination. And that's actually what gives you a deeper sense of empowerment. So, yeah, there are a lot of options open. You have released so much. You have evolved. You come to another level. There are temptations around. But are you going to follow your heart? Are you going to follow your heart? Are you going to trust in spirit? Trust in God, source, the universe, whatever it is you want to call it. From what it seems, though, you definitely are going to be feeling more empowered. And you're going to be feeling like the world is wide open. That is it for your reading, Pisces. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you would like to receive all the notifications I put out on this channel, you can tap the bell to receive all of those. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.